everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Alsuna Nabilah, an English Education Department student of Syarifidiyah Tullas Tech Islamic University, Jakarta. So today I bring different things to talk about. So in the previous video, I review about the textbook. Now I will review the academic article that I've read. So more than less 10 article that I review, and what I read is based on discussion of vocabulary. So all the article is discussed about explains about a vocabulary. So here about the content that I will review. So there are 10 articles that I will review to you. Can we next slide? Okay. So the first article is about a mobile game based on English vocabulary practice, system based on portfolio analysis. So the second is about application-driven educational game to assist young children in learning English vocabulary. The third is about the effect of computer game based on learning on RF applicability transferability, and the fourth is about the role-play game enhanced English for a specific purpose vocabulary acquisition. The fifth is about use of Duolingo apps to improve English vocabulary learning. Then the sixth is about vocabulary enhancement through Memrise and Google Classroom. Then the seventh is about improving student vocabulary mastery by using total physical responses. And the eighth is about using multimodal educational apps to increase the vocabulary of children with and without reading difficulties. And the ninth is about use of mobile learning application in the process of Persian vocabulary learning. And the last one is about positive emotional stimuli in teaching Persian language vocabulary. So without further ado, I will review. For the first article is about mobile game based English vocabulary practice system based on portfolio analysis. So this article is written by Ting Ting Wu and Yoon Min Huang in 2017. So the general problem area is about a mobile game-based English vocabulary practice system where vocabulary is particularly critical for language learner, and developing and sufficient vocabulary is necessary for achieving effective communication. So that about the general problem of this article. Continue to the objective or purpose from this article is are to help students to achieve English vocabulary objectives, encourage learning motivation and interest, and facilitate active learning and flow experience based on digital game-based learning. It is analyzed that digital game-based learning can effectively enhance student attention, interest, creativity, and community relationship. Then there is a question from this article is, how can digital game-based learning approaches be used in AFL learning environment? So the author finding major and conclusion as the result said that where statistically analyzed learners become familiar with vocabulary after playing the game. According to the analysis results, students who use the proposed system exhibit higher learning interest, attention, and learning effectiveness, as well as sense of accomplishment and truth compared with other students. So it's about the first article. Then we continue to the next article. So in the next article is about application-driven educational game to assist young children in learning English vocabulary. This article written by Sing Hong Chen and Su Yu Li in 2018. So the general problem of this article is the learning of new vocabulary items plays a fundamental role in mastering any Persian language, including students struggling to learn English as a second language. However, it has been found that students lack in vocabulary learning progress such as felt difficulty and etc. So to overcome these types of problems, more and more studies, the authors to incorporate digital games with learning scenarios to support language learning by using my pet shop application. It's such as a game application for students. So about the objective and purpose of this article is to describe the development of an educational game named My Pet Shop to enhance young children's learning in English vocabulary. So the study examines the use of digital game to offer students more opportunities to practice English vocabulary. And the research question is, how do we develop a learning system to support young student English vocabulary learning? So the final result from this article is that the application-driven model offers student enhanced motivation in terms of the goal, feedback, autonomy, and immersion aspect. Then the model was also beneficial to students of regulation in terms of the forethought and performance aspect. And the third is about two obvious behavior patterns studies, one of which suggests that learning regulation component plays a significant role. That from the second article. We continue to the next article is about the AVEC of computer game based learning on F vocabulary transferability. So it's written by Stephen J. Franciscus in 2017. So this article intends to report on two studies to examine the effectiveness of computer game-based approaches in Persian language learning. So a game-based approach follows a mainstream Persian language education model that prescribes a meaning-focused activity wherein learners apply the target language to perform a task. So supported by prompt-focused enabling tasks wherein learners learn and or practice linguistics from and followed by a post-activity task that for reflection and knowledge construction. So the objective or the purpose from this article is to report the result of two studies, vocabulary learning outcomes from F, a lesson implying energy, an online stimulation game as a core material in the meaning focused activity. So the research question from this article is it computer game based approach increase the transferability of the vocabulary learned by students? So the finding or result from this paper is from this article is uh, this article reported the result of two investigation of the learning outcomes of computer game-based lessons in two learning programs. The first study compared the use of target words in writing tasks between a group of students who learned the words with Quizlets and subsequently used them in computer game-based lessons, and the group of students who learned the words with the Quizlets. So that's about the third article. We continue to the fourth article is about role play game enhanced English for a specific purpose vocabulary acquisition framework. So this is written by Fang Cheng Lu and Ben Chang. It's in 2008, 2016 actually. So there's article, the problem from this article about English for specific purpose ASP, which has been looked upon as a neglected subject in vocational high school because there is still room for improvement in ASP course design and implementation. So the writers discuss the student ASP vocabulary, effectiveness, and second, self the participant scale for the framework and a Facebook online review the game civilly to facilitate SCP vocabulary learning. So the purpose or objective from this article is to report the result of to study vocabulary learning outcome from have a listen implying energy and on stimulation game as a core material in the meaning focus activity. Then the research question of this article is do students actually acquire more ASP vocabulary using the RPG ASP framework? So the finding or result from this article is that say the RPG ASP framework was beneficial to student ASP vocabulary acquisition only with respect of the contextualist use of words. The possible explanation for the result was that the RPG ASP framework could efficiently situate learning in authentic context, let learners learn via the meaningful cognitive process. So it's about the fourth article. Then we next to the web article is the use of Duolingo apps to improve English vocabulary learning. That's written by Panko Ajisoka. It's in 2020 exactly. So it's the general problem from this article is about new media for learning English. The app are called Duolingo. The writer needs to see how the influence of Duolingo in extensive learning of Borneo University of Tarakan. So the purpose or objective from this article is to explore the use of Duolingo apps in improving student vocabulary in Borneo University of Tarakan. Then the research question is how is the influence of Duolingo in the extensive learning of Borneo University of Tarakan? Then the result from this article, the author finding major and conclusion from this article is that the questionnaire in using Duolingo as extensive learning of vocabulary reveal a positive responses from learners. So based on the quantitative data, the student score is increased. The result is expected to provide information for teacher and students in having extensive language learning practice in handy prompt. Learners were more motivated in learning, more skillful because the interest of learning increases. So we can next to the next article. It's about vocabulary enhancement through Members and Google Classroom that written by Stephanie Feli Taibenu and Caroline Victorina Atamba. It's in 2021. So the general problem from this article is in Indonesia, students have difficulty mastering vocabulary. That is why various studies and several methods have been conducted to improve vocabulary knowledge. To overcome this challenge, teachers should vary their methods to assisting and students to increase their vocabulary knowledge. And research should have selected up-to-date methods for teaching vocabulary through the memorized application. So the memorized application was used on both males and female, which is considered an effective approach to improve and enhance the student vocabulary. So this the objective of purpose from this article is to see if there is a significant differences in vocabulary enhancement between females and male students using Google Classroom and Memrise. So the final result from this article show that the data analysis revealed that both groups, female and male, have improved the vocabulary, but the female group results show that significantly higher enhancement compared to the male group based on score. Also, it can be concluded these strategies have positive results since the strategies of increasing, enhancing the student vocabulary. So it's about that article. We next to the next article is about improving student vocabulary mastery by using physical response. So this article is written by, okay, you can look for Haruman in 2017. And the general problem from this article is to report the result of the studies of vocabulary learning outcome from AF or lesson plan logicity and knowledge stimulation game as a core material in the meaning activity. So the objective or purpose from the study is there is a significant difference in vocabulary enhancements between female and male student using Google Classroom and Memrise. So the research question from this article is a complementary best approach to increase the transferability of vocabulary in the best student. So the finding or result from this article is of two investigators on the learning outcome of computer-based lesson into learning programs. The first study compared that the use of target words in writing tasks between a group of students who learn the word with Quizlet and subsequently use them in a computer game-based lesson, and a group of students who only learned the words with Quizlet. The second study compared the relationship between participants in a game-based lesson and the use of target word in writing tasks. The author concludes that computer game can be used effectively as a main focus activities at project language education. So that's about that article. Then we next to the article is about using multimodal educational apps to increase the vocabulary of children with and without reading difficulties. So this article written by Sung Healy and Kathleen by Aspiranti in I think in 2020. 2022. So the general problem from this article is about the use of multimodal vocabulary education app called Endless Alphabet will enhance for novel word learning for students in varying reading ability. So the writer needs to see how multimodal app technology can benefit student vocabulary learning with varied reading abilities. So the objective or purpose from this article is to know the effect of multimodal vocabulary instruction app to the vocabulary learning of first grade students. So the research question from this article, does the exposure to new vocabulary items within the context of multimodal education app result in increased vocabulary learning for children as a whole group? So the funding result from this article is the study contribute to the field of child computer interaction by providing evidence of the benefits of incorporating a carefully selected educational app for vocabulary learning for children with varying abilities. Although preliminary, the result from the present study suggests a multimodal educational app, especially along with the recorded word explanation, can overall increase the novel word learning on first grade students with varying reading scale. So that's about the article. Then we next to this article is about the use of mobile learning application in the process of project learning. So this article is written by Petra Polakova in 2022. So the general problem area is about a mobile device that have become an integral part of our life and are increasingly being used for different purposes, including learning foreign language. They have become popular language learning tools due to their ubiquitous nature, which allows students to access learning materials anywhere and anytime. So the objective or purpose from this article is to identify the effect of the mobile app and the student vocabulary acquisition to identify student approach to use of vocabulary mobile learning app as an additional learning tool in the process of language learning. So the research question from this article is, has the use of the mobile application helped students to extend their vocabulary knowledge? So the result from this article is, actually, the findings show that the aim of the present study was met since the research questions were answered. So the findings reveal the usefulness of the applicable mobile learning application, which was defined by the student performance and their overall satisfaction. So the benefit of using the mobile application in the process of applicable learning was corrective and immediate feedback. So the research participants claimed that feedback helped them to learn new vocabulary items and understand their meaning. So, but that's the article. So we move to the last article. So it's about the positive emotional stimuli in teaching foreign language vocabulary that written by Zidina Kralova, Jana Kamenika, and Anna Tipakova. It's actually this written in 2020. So the trigger problem of this article is about emotional stimuli enhancing remembering of new regional language vocabulary based on research repetition, relative false spacing, passing, regular use, cognitive depth, personal organizing, imaginary mnemonics, motivation, attention, arousal, and affective thought are considered the most effective non-memory aids. The author needs to determine whether or not positive emotional stimuli enhance the remembering of the new foreign language vocabulary. So the purpose or objective from this article is, the study was to determine whether or not positive emotional stimuli, the independent variable, increase the retention of new foreign language vocabulary, the dependent variable. So the research question from this article is, what are the participant perception of the positive emotional stimuli apply? So the result from this article is, positive emotional stimuli are an easily applicable strategy in foreign language education, transferable across diverse culture and language contexts. Then the author concludes that learning with the use of emotional stimuli uses all three types of learning styles: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. In addition, by experiencing positive emotional experience in classes, it's possible to build a positive relationship not only toward a foreign language but also towards the learning process as such. So that's about the last article that I have read, and yeah, there are third article that I have reviewed to you all. So the conclusion that I can give to, so additional learning applications such as apps and games have an important role in helping students learn vocabulary because this app can provide easy accessibility, interactive learning experience, effective repetition techniques, and the ability to measure student abilities and learning progress. By using well the learning applications such as GAP and other applications that I have reviewed before on the 10 article, so students can be helped in improving their vocabulary learning process. So I think that's all from the review about 10 academic article that I've read. So thank you for listening and see you.